Losing is what got us here. None of us feel good about it. This is, where we are. You are what your record is. You are what has happened, recently. But things can change quickly. Once we.
Tony,
Yes, sir.
how you feeling, man?
I'm good, Sim. I'm glad to be back.
No doubt. The Knicks get the win, 116-107 over the Miami Heat.
The Miami beat.
The Miami beat. The Miami get beat. And yeah, here we are with a losers lounge, man. Glad to have one.
Yes, sir.
Glad to have one. Miami's one of the arch nemesis of the New York Knicks, ladies and gentlemen. So anytime we can get the win over the Miami Heat, you gotta love it.
And they started off the losers lounge,
Exactly. Exposure starts off the losers lounge. Everybody that's joining us, big shout out to you. Thank you for joining us. We know it's midnight. But we gotta have some fun with it, ladies and gentlemen. Gotta have some fun with it. So we might as well go ahead and get busy with it, and just start knocking it out. You can call into the show 516-362-5212. We'll be happy to take your call. We want to hear what you think and how you feel about what the Miami Heat fans are saying, ladies and gentlemen. So, let's get with it, Tony.
Who we got?
So who we got here? What they talking about?
That's Keith. He says, "Can't beat New York at home. How are we gonna beat elite teams like Boston? Up 13, blow the game."
So first of all, my first thought with that is he's calling us, he's calling us not elite, saying the Knicks aren't elite. I guess my only thing with that is maybe we're not elite yet.
I ain't gonna lie, Sim. My first thought was Miami is a home game.
That's true.
That's our vacation home.
That's true. That's true. You know what I'm saying? That's what we do. New Yorkers move to Florida every single year in droves. You know what I'm saying? In droves. So no doubt about it. That's one of our homes. All up and down the East Coast. Philly, Washington, Charlotte, Atlanta, Miami. We dominate the arenas. They don't, and they don't. Fans don't like it. Look at this guy. True. So why is it louder Knick fans in here?
Like I said, it's our vacation home.
I'm surprised that teams don't. I'm surprised that teams aren't trying to put things in place to make sure that Knicks fans don't come dominate their arenas.
I mean, when it seems like the Knicks are selling out their arena, they need the money.
Hey, that's true.
They gotta turn down the money.
That's true. They're like, I don't care who buys a ticket. You know what I mean? But in the long haul, don't you think that hurts the team? Hurts their pocket, in the long haul, because people start to see, they look at it and say, they don't have a strong enough fan base or whatever.
Yeah.
Or do they give an exception because it's the Knicks?
Well, I guess it goes both ways. Like, you might see the Lakers come to town and it'll be like LeBron fans, you know what I mean? Or you might see the Spurs come and people want to come see Wemby. And it didn't matter what Knick team was coming to town. Pre-Brunson, pre-Randle, when we was bums, it was still Knick fans across these arenas. You know what I mean?
Right.
So I think they kind of have to chalk it up to a staple of the league.
Yeah, no doubt. Nostalgic said major L for the Heat.
Do you
Yeah.
think this affects the players, like the
Oh,
Heat players playing?
it's got to. It's got to. I mean, you've heard other players from other teams, kind of say, "Oh, it's embarrassing to hear, fans um rooting for the Knicks or, their fans being louder than our fans and things like that." You know what I mean? Um, yeah, I think it definitely it affects them. I'd be mad. I'd be upset. I'd be upset if an opposing team came to my arena and they got more fans in my arena. This is big battle of boos and cheers between our fans and their fans. I wouldn't like it. I wouldn't like it. It's not something, but I will say it's not something that's making a lot of players really say, "Oh, I got to go to New York because their fans travel." I still think there's the fear, fans fear.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, players fear the New York fans, right? And that's what stops a lot of players from coming to the Knicks. I think there was a clip or something that I seen of um, Anthony Edwards talking to a fan. They was trying to tell him to come to the Knicks. He was like, "Why? So as soon as I have a bad game, y'all can boo me."
Mm-hmm.
You know, so that's it's still out there. I don't think it's going anywhere anytime soon either. I mean, it's still out there.
Yeah,
Okay.
wait till Randle gets to express himself.
Yeah.
It's all right. You gotta be built for it.
It's gonna be interesting, man, to see when Randle comes back to the Garden. I think he's gonna get a lot of cheers, though. You know what I'm saying? I think all the fans are gonna be like, "All right, it's water under the bridge. You helped us get to where we are," and it's gonna be a lot of cheers for Randle. You know what I mean? And hopefully, he accepts it, and he's just like, "Hey, you know what? This is the relationship you have when you play in New York. You're gonna have a love-hate relationship until you leave."
He gonna be like this.
Yo, that would be hilarious if he did that. That joint would be hilarious. You know what I'm saying? And I mean, what would be even better though if he did that and the fans cheered him more, almost like
Yeah,
laughing with him. You know what I'm saying?
yeah.
Looking back on it and laughing with him. That would be that kind. It would be cool for real. Be kind of cool. But back to the Miami Heat. The Miami get beat. Brandon said, "Please blow this shit up. This has playing team written all over it. Is it time for Miami to go in another direction?"
Do they own their pick this year?
I don't know. I don't
Because
know.
that's to me that would be the determining factor. For, like, especially if you're talking about blow it up, rebuild, hold Bam and try to see if you could jump in that Cooper Flag sweepstake.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? But other than that,
Yeah.
it's really there's no quick fix. I
Right.
don't think.
Right.
You know what I mean? They could reignite their pursuit of Dame if they feel strongly and they want to try to give it one more hooray, one more hurrah. But
Right.
I think after this year, I think they move on from Jimmy unless he opts in, but I don't think he does. He's kind of in the same position as Randle right now, where
Right.
there's no exception. There's no extension on the table, and then he has I think his option is $50 million though. So I don't know if you turn down 50 unless he knows he could get 3 for one. You know what I mean? 130 or something.
Right.
120.
You think he's getting another one of those type of contracts?
That's where it's tough, and that's where I think this year is going to be his determining factor as well.
Right.
You know what I mean? It's not just about if the Heat want him. It's going to be the whole league. Who does anybody want him for that money moving forward?
Right.
I will say this about Jimmy, though. He might want his money from the Heat off of principle. I could see him taking a large pay cut to kind of solidify himself and go for the chip somewhere that he wants to go.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. I don't know.
But he did talk about the Nets, and that was a money play. He's like, I can see myself with the Nets in the future.
Right.
That was about money.
Right. Ned said Kat for Julius Randle was a genius move for the Knicks. When is Pat going to make his move? I don't know if there's another move that makes Miami a contender or anything right now.
Do you think the Bucks would do a Butler for Lillard trade? I mean, they would still have to get a point guard from somewhere, I think. But do you think that's something they would entertain?
Oh, that's a good question.
To me, that's the only move.
But they got to get that point guard. Who's the
Milwaukee?
Right, Milwaukee would have to get that point guard.
Yeah, yeah.
You know, in order to, I don't know who that point guard would be, but they'd have to get one.
Great.
I don't know. I mean, I think they're probably intent on seeing if they can make it work, and get even better with Dame there.
I just think Butler would be a good fit next to Giannis.
Yeah, probably would. Because he can play like tonight. He only took 8 shot attempts. But we also know that he can turn it on. Yeah. Ned said Kat for Julius was a genius move for the Knicks. You think it was a genius move for the Knicks?
I think time will tell, but I also think I understand it 100%. You know what I mean? Like, especially here's what I'll say. If they knew they weren't gonna re-sign Randle and the risk to lose him, and they knew he wasn't opting in, then
Right.
yeah, it was a genius move. If they knew they weren't bringing him back or keeping him long term, that was a genius move.
Right.
Because what do we always say? We're not trading Randle unless it's for Giannis, unless it's for Embiid, unless it's for
unless it's for some one of them guys. I think that I think it was definitely a good move. Time is going to tell how genius it was. I guess time will tell. Julius Randle's doing this thing over there in Minnesota. Karl-Anthony Towns tonight did his thing here. He's averaging 22.5. Randle's averaging 23. I mean, they're basically putting up similar numbers, and the teams have similar records. So, guess
identical record now, right?
Yeah, identical records, right? So time is going to tell. Time is definitely going to tell with that. Matt said, I'm not blaming any role player. The 2 guys they're paying almost $100 million to need to step up. Talking about Bam and Jimmy Butler, right?
Yep.
I mean, I don't know, man. I kind of feel like it's run its course. Yeah. I kind of feel like it's run its course with Miami and these guys.
It's fair because they had 2 final runs, and both
Yeah.
of them would honestly be considered overachieving.
Yeah, exactly.
You know what I mean? It wasn't like they were expected to make the finals in either one of those runs, and
Right.
then they did it. Nah, they overachieved both times, and then it raised expectations to almost unrealistic. You know what I mean? Unrealistic height.
Right.
So I could see that. My only thing is, and I'm speaking from a Knicks fans perspective, is the alternative. You know what I mean? Knowing what it's been to be at the bottom,
Right.
and how long it took to get back there. But Riley has a track record of getting back there, so I'll give him that.
Every time. Every time. Every time. He gets back there. There's no doubt about that. Every time. You know what I'm saying? He figures it out. He figures out a way to get players every single time. You know what I mean? Every single time. Will said, damn, I guess Bam reached the ceiling. I was expecting a leap, but what we see may be who he is. You think Bam is Bam now? Think he reached the ceiling?
I was expecting a leap. Like I thought this was gonna be his breakout year, and I thought it would be his team this year.
Right.
But again, knowing, not to just keep bringing up Randle, but knowing what he had to go through to grow into that role, you know what I mean? I guess you can't just give it to somebody, right?
Right.
They gotta
take it.
They gotta take it.
They gotta take it.
And it's an adjustment in that, you know what I mean? So you know what I mean? There's an adjustment in being the guy.
Right.
To being the guy and being the lead guy on the scouting report. I don't know. Who do you think is the number one guy on the scouting report? If you was writing the scouting report for the Knicks, we playing Miami tonight. Who's your number one?
I mean, as of right now, I would probably go with Tyler Herro. You know what I mean? Right now, I would. Because that dude is he's tough. He's tough.
I think he plays the best for them, but I don't know if Miami thinks of him as the. When I say Miami, not the fans, but the front office. You think that's who they empower, or that's who they look at as?
I think they look at Jimmy Butler as the leader.
Okay,
he's the leader. Is he the best player right now on that team? I don't know. I don't know if they look at him. Do they look at him as the best player? Maybe still. But on my scouting report, I'm scared.
Tyler's the guy that could kill you.
Yeah, I'm scared of his scoring ability. You know what I'm saying? He had 34 tonight, I think it was, something like that.
Yeah, he had a big night.
Yeah. Some fans, last right here says this is Tyler Herro's team because what the fuck?
I get it.
Yeah. And Tyler may be ready to take over. You know what I'm saying? He just might be ready to take over.
He might be ready to leave. This man been in all the trade rumors the last 3 years.
Yeah, no doubt.
You know what I mean? You gotta feel undervalued. You know what I mean? And to keep, credit to him to keep coming back, bouncing back, playing well, and being in that argument as the best player, not just the best trade asset. You know what I mean?
I mean, so
gotta
far
be tough.
He's averaging 22.3 points a game, shooting 47.7% from the field, and 43.2% from the 3-point line. 4.8 rebounds, 5.3 assists. He's putting in work.
Some people will argue though he's like an elite 6-man on a championship team.
Okay.
And you know what I mean, a microwave scorer or whatever. But
right.
Shit. I think he's a legit starter for sure. I wouldn't put him in that. You know what I mean? I think he could be a starter on a championship team.
Oh yeah. And Jimmy Butler this season so far 16.8 points, 5 rebounds, 6 assists.
How about Bam?
Butler's only shooting 12.5% from the 3-point line so far.
And Bam, he hasn't hit a 3 tonight. That might have been his first 3 of the season.
Oh, did he hit one tonight?
I know he took one. I think he. But I know he hasn't. You know what I mean? That was where the leap was supposed to come from him tonight, or this year. This year.
So far, Bam's giving you 11 points per game, shooting 39.5% from the field, 0% from the 3-point line.
Oh, so
7.3 rebounds and 3 assists.
And he did all that shooting in the summer, and
so you know he's got some room for improvement if he's going to step up and be the guy on this team. A lot of room for improvement. I don't know. Oh, I read this one already. Had for them to make a move. So yeah, I don't know. It's probably transitioning to Tyler Herro's team, but is he a franchise player though?
I don't think so. I think number one, he's the guy you really want to add if you need shooting. You know what I mean? But I'd say this, for him to take the next leap, you got to put him at the 1. He has a good enough handle. You know what I mean? Like, but he's not going to be Steph. And the sad thing is he's probably a more composed Jordan Poole. You know what I mean? Like, you could have him on a championship run, but he's complimentary to me at best.
Yeah. Okay. Denmar said, "Good game, Tyler. Rest."
Oh, the rest of you.
The rest of you scrubs, get up some shots. Bam, bam, bam. Cats in your dreams tonight.
Oh man, Cat definitely dominated him, man. He made Bam look small. I know he ain't a 7-footer, but he made him look like he wasn't. You know what I mean? Like he looked like an undersized son.
Yeah, no doubt. We got here. Jay said Bam's getting destroyed by Big Purr. And then can't even go back to him on the other end. Shake my head, only the Heat.
And I was like, don't call him that. It's Bodega Kat or Big Bodega. It ain't Big Purr.
Big Purr.
we not rocking with Big Purr.
Hey, bugging. I mean, listen, Cat did his thing tonight, man. He showed a lot of fire. Right? Showed a whole lot of fire. And that's exactly what the Knicks need.
Mm-hmm.
They need that guy that's going to bring that fire. And Cat showed some fire tonight. I hope he keeps it up. Really hope he keeps it up because the Knicks need that kind of fire on the team.
He little bro, Bam.
Yeah. You know, Cat's get, he did. This guy Jimmy said McBride is nice too. Very underrated. Deuce, man.
Salute.
Deuce is gonna have a breakout year for the Knicks, I think. He's gonna have a breakout year. This is gonna be his best season yet. He's gonna get plenty of playing time. Tibbs already trusts him. Yeah, Deuce is gonna earn himself a big contract by the end of this season. It's gonna be well deserved too. Well deserved. The last slide that I'm gonna bring up. Me and my brother would talk about this when we was at the game when it was in DC. He said Tibbs needs to just go ahead and cut off a small patch of his hair on his head. Yo, Tibbs is holding on to that joint for dear life, bro. He's not cutting it off.
It's part of them.
Yeah, he's got it combed and everything. So
that's right, slick back. It's part of you know what I mean. He might still need to pull one or two every now and again. So you know what I mean.
Right. You think Tibbs is poised to be a championship level coach right now? He hasn't won a championship. He hasn't been out of the Eastern Conference Finals, or any conference finals. He hasn't been out of it. He hasn't been to an NBA Finals as the head coach. You think he's finally poised to win a championship?
I think I don't think he's as stubborn as he was. So I think he's trying to. You know what I mean? I think he's trying to make the internal adjustments.
Right.
You know what I mean? Like he's still like coaches should never stop learning. Right. And that's one thing I'll give Tibbs. Like he's still learning, even though he's been a veteran coach all these years. Like he's still learning. It may not be to the capacity, you know. What's the saying? It's hard to teach your old dog new tricks. It might take an older coach a little bit longer to fully adjust. You know what I mean? But you can see it. You know what I mean? And the longer he's here, I think the more you see him adjusting within his philosophy.
Yeah.
So yes.
Yeah, you know, and you know, I mean, that was similar to Tom Coughlin with the Giants. He had to make some adjustments. You know, he was one of those stubborn head coaches. He had to make some adjustments,
loosen up
a little bit, and it helped them win a championship. You know, Tibbs may have to do something similar.
They still needed the discipline from Tom. You know what I mean? But he started to smile a little bit more. Like you see with Tibbs now, you see him smiling more than ever.
Right.
You know what I mean? Like, I think he just got to loosen up a little bit.
I think the thing with this team is they're all pretty much good guys. You know what I mean? So I think that they don't need as much discipline. I think they can police themselves.
Mm-hmm.
You know they have good basketball IQ. You know, so I think that relieves. You know, that may give Tom the confidence to say I can let up a little bit because of the type of players you got on the team.
They hold themselves accountable.
Yeah,
you know what I mean. They own their mistakes.
Yeah,
you know, you see them tell Tibbs, I know. My bad.
Right.
You don't gotta pull me.
You know what I mean? Yeah. I mean, I think Tom. We'll see if he can do it. You know, we'll see if he can get the team there. I think the Knicks need to add a little bit more depth to help them. Well, I don't want to say that yet. Let me let the guys get back healthy, and then we see where we are as far as the depth is concerned. You know, Precious out, Mitchell Robinson out. See where we are there.
The good thing about Precious is you can kind of put him in any lineup. You know what I mean? You don't gotta kind of adjust the lineup to him or limit him because of who else is on the floor. For the most part, you know what I mean? Like he's not the knockdown shooter, but he'll shoot it. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But that was like my only concern, like with him going down so early. Like, is it going to be another adjustment period for us? You know what I mean? As we bring guys back, or with whomever is going to ultimately take up the Shamet role, is that going to be another adjustment if that's somebody being brought in as opposed to somebody stepping in, stepping up?
Right. Yeah. We'll see, man. Well, the Dodgers are World Series champions. Yeah. What are you gonna do?
I'm not acknowledging that until the morning. You're not gonna ruin my parade.
I word. I feel you. Yeah. But yeah, ladies and gentlemen, man, thank you for joining us on a losers lounge. You can see I'm tired. I'm stuttering over my words, slurring over my words or whatever. I need to go get some rest. Had a long night last night. Might even have a long night tonight. So I need to finish what I started and then try to get some rest. I got a lot of traveling to do tomorrow. Tony, any last words before we get out of here?
Nah, man. Just glad to be back. Shout out to the chat. Replay game. Losers Lounge episode 2, season 2, episode 2.
Yeah.
We need 53 more of them things.
No doubt. We're gonna make it happen. Ladies and gentlemen, we're out of here. We appreciate you. Peace.
Losing is what got us here. None of us feel good about it. This is, where we are. You are what your record is. You are what has happened, recently. But things can change quickly. Once we losing is what got us here.